Hi, this is a small spreadsheet with some sales figures for 2015 for the company that sells nuts, bolts, screws and nails. This is the amount here that was taken for each item in the year. This is the proposed increase for next year. This is the title of the company, and this is the tab for the worksheet. Now I got it to look like that by right clicking on it and choosing a color. So let's go and choose a nice purple color this time. Okay, and if we go and have a look, you can change the name of it. Well, so we'll leave it with nuts and bolts, but you can retype it to anything you want there. Let's do the title first. You see it's called Nuts and Bolts Sales Company. It takes up quite a bit of space, but if we highlight that area, this whole area here up to D, and then we can basically use this little thing to merge and center. Okay, and then we can come up here and we can choose something to make it look nice. So we use styles. We'll pull down the styles here, and you can see that we can choose heading 1. So now we've got the Nuts and Bolts Sales Company with heading 1. We got a little problem going on here, whereas the text doesn't fit in the space available. Now we can get around that by coming up to the top here. And you see when you get between the two columns, that symbol appears. If you double click on that, it will take it over like that. Now you'll see that's a bit too much. So what we can do is to come back into this one and just put Alt and enter, and you can see now that should take it onto 2 lines. So we can come back up here again and just make it fit a bit better. Okay, so this here is a percentage. Now that represents 25%, so they're pretty aggressive. They think their profit for next year is going to go up by increasing their sales by 25%. But initially it doesn't look like 25%, so we have to turn it into a percent, and we do that simply by right clicking on here and then basically coming down to where it says format cells and then choosing a percentage. Okay, and if we need to change the decimal places available, in this particular case we only need, well, we don't need any decimal places, so we can get rid of the decimal places there. And when you click OK, that now becomes 25%. Okay. Next we're going to make this heading row look quite decent. And we can highlight it like that, and we can say, we can go and choose any of these that we quite like, and we could say it's heading 2 or even heading 3 in this particular case. So like that. Again, we can come up here and increase the width, and again on this one here we can go Alt and enter to bring it down onto 2 lines. We can alter that space by bringing this down a little bit here. So no, it doesn't like it, so it needs that gap for some reason, so we'll get rid of that again. Okay, so now we've got our headings, we got our percentages. This is going to be a total area here, so we need to go and make this a total area. And we can just come up here again for a style, pull down and click on total. Okay, so that's getting ready for the totals. We've overdone it by 1 column, so we can just go and delete that area. It'll say move cells to the left, okay, and that's gone now. So that's nice. So these values here are going to be, including the totals, are going to be dollar amounts. So we can do that now by highlighting the whole area, right clicking again, formatting the cells. We can either make it currency or accounting, depending on what we've been asked to do. Well, we'll make it this one currency. So you can see now the nice currency amounts. Next we're going to total this column. There's the total highlighted there, and what we want to do to total it is we just go up over here to auto sum, click on it. It's highlighting the right area. If it didn't, you'd use the mouse to go and highlight the area you wanted to sum, and when you're happy, just press enter, and there's the total amount there of the sales for the products. Now we're going to work out the profit for next year, how much sales will be next year. Sorry, the basically increase in the amount based on this, what we got this year. So I'm going to make an error here that students frequently make. Okay, they will say they see this percentage increase here is 25%, and what they do is they say equals 25% times multiplied by whatever's in this cell. Okay, and you hit enter, and they see a figure appear there, and they think, yeah, that's great, that's fantastic. Now, common sense should kick in at this point when you look at this, and this is a thing you should apply to everything that you do, not only in this subject but every subject. When you're working something out, you look at the answer and you think, does that make sense? In this particular case, in 2015, we sold $234,000 worth of nuts. Okay, and it's going to go up by 25%. And we're saying that it's gone up by 25%, and instead of selling 234,000, we're selling 58,000. Well, what we've just worked out is 25% of the sales. We still have to take into consideration the original sales as well. Now, the way to do that is quite simple. If we just use the back button here to get rid of that, we can come in here and we can go equals this figure multiplied by, and then we can use parentheses, and in the parentheses we can say 1 plus this figure. Okay, and we press enter there, and we get 292,000, which you look at it and you say to yourself in a common sense sort of way, A, is it more than before? Yes. Is it about a quarter more? And the answer is absolutely it is, yes. And what we've said here in this formula is we're multiplying this value by 1.25%, 125%, sorry, and which is an increase of 25% on 100%. And we have to put that 1 in here. Now, look what happens if we don't put the parentheses in. Okay, so we just go and remove these parentheses. And it's saying pretty much the same, but without the parentheses. And something's gone weird, because it's coming out and it's giving us the same figure as before, but with 25 cents extra. So it's all gone terribly wrong there. It's not 25% more, it's 25 cents more. So to put the parentheses back in means that it will work out what's in the parenthesis first. So it will add 1 to 0.25 and come up with 1.25. Whereas without the parentheses, it's multiplying B6 by 1 and then adding 0.25. So you need the parentheses here. It's the order of working things out in mathematics, which you should be aware of. Okay, so we're happy now. We can do the projected sales all the way down here. So I can just pull this down here to here, and we're all going to be happy. And it's totally messed up. And that's happening for one reason. If I go take it all back again just to here, it's saying B6 times, and it's using B4 there. Okay, if we pull that down one, we'll see that the formula in here becomes B7, which is correct, but it also moves down to here, so it's coming to B5. So it's trying to multiply whatever is in this square by the value sales 2015, and of course it can't do that, so it comes up with this rather unhelpful error message. So how do we get around that? Well, let's go back. So we're just here. We use the absolute values, so we can highlight that cell there, which is the one we want to use, and if we press F4, you'll see it ends up with $B, $4. Okay, and I press enter, and we get the same result, we get the correct result. But this time, when I pull it down, it works. Now, why hasn't it worked for that one? Well, that's quite simple, because there's not enough space for it. Remember, when you see those, that means it can't fit in the space available. So we just need to come up here and press on our left-hand mouse button, and you can see the width, and say we want it to be 90 pixels, we just move it till it gets to 90 with our left-hand mouse button pressed. When we get to 90, still not fitted, let's say 95, let go, and there's the value, $1 million. Okay, so we can now go and total this column with the auto sum, press enter, and that is a quarter bigger than that one. So we've achieved our goal here of presenting our work correctly. Remember, this 25% is actually 0.25, and then we turn it into a percentage by formatting it as a percentage. And these here are achieved by taking whatever value is in B6 and multiplying it by 1 plus the value in B4. So that would be 1.25. And 1.25 times the 2015 figure is in actual fact an increase of 25%. So that's what you wanted. So don't forget that 1 if you're ever doing something like this. Okay, and we've adjusted the widths automatically by clicking on the gap between the two columns in question, and we've also adjusted the widths by moving it cells to a set value which we've read off the screen. We've styled the cells accordingly to make them look good. We put in the total row here using the cell styles up here. And we've done the absolute value, which is important. This absolute value here, $B, $4, it means that whichever square we are on when we pull down here, we're always referring to that square. It doesn't move down with us when we use absolute values. They're very important. Students frequently forget about them and frequently wonder why their results don't work when they pull down from the corner like this to flow them down. Remember absolute values. Okay. Thank you.